What's good, family? So smash the like button, subscribe, and let off the bell. Wow, it's bad for your minds. Bumillion White right now, and all the Bumillion shite fans. In fact, you know what? Let me start off saying some things about Tyson Fury, because people who follow my channel will know that I've been hard on Tyson. And listen, no one's perfect, but as far as this in the ring thing goes, for me now, he top 10 all time. That's off the rip. Now what he does from here, if he chins Usyk, chins Johnston or whoever else is out there, then we can talk about top 3, or who knows, maybe in terms of being beatable, I'm talking about. In terms of who can beat the guy. Yeah, it's not about, is he the prettiest, is he this, is he that? No, not for me. But what he's done now, he's now added that ability to ice dons with one punch. So, again, like I said, for me, he's not the most pretty fighter or whatever else, but listen. Before, he was tricky and unpretty. Now, he's stone cold in dons with no build-up. And that was a crisp uppercut. Rotten people who know my channel know that I talk about the best way to KO someone is when you chip their chin. Fury's knuckles chipped right on the end of Shillian's beak. And then he pushed him. He fell. Listen, he went down like a sack of potatoes. It's bad for Bumillion fans right now. And all that talk about Bumillion White. My name's Bumillion White and I want 45%. Let me tell you now. Imagine, yeah, if DILLIAN WHYTE had got to 45%. And this is what I was trying to tell you, man. You funny style cats. Try and tell me about, he deserved 45%. Does what you saw in there look like a 50% man? And that's why you're supposed to earn them big 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% purses. You earn that by being champion. You don't just rock up, having been slept by the Russian uncle. Yeah? To be honest with you, on that performance, Dillian should be getting paid about 5 or 6%. Because that's how much it was close. It was about 5 or 6% close. But anyway, back to Tyson Fury here. Listen. Tyson Fury, this for me was barely a sparring session. He was going through the motions. And White. Damn, it's bad for White. And I'm sure there's going to be some Fury haters out there. And listen, you've just heard me admit I was wrong. I'm wrong. Although, I will admit, or I will also say that Tyson Fury himself even admitted the value that Sugar Hill has added to his game. Fury himself said that I was fiddling around, and now Fury's got that fiddle around IQ combined with being able to sleep dons with one bang. Stone cold. Stone cold Steve Austin. Dillian got up looking like a newborn Bambi on ice. Yeah, stilts. In fact, he got up like a newborn Bambi on ice with stilts on. It's bad. It's bad. And after all that woofing about, I knocked out Tyson Fury in sparring. And I wouldn't even mind. I'm not even here to knock someone when they're down all the way bad. But it's like, you was giving it all that jammer, and DILLIAN WHYTE didn't even really come to really stick it on, did he? Let's be real now. Yeah, his team were telling him, Dillian, you're falling short. And to be honest, I told people, Dillian's shots aren't short. DILLIAN WHYTE doesn't have short shots. He doesn't have short footwork. He plods along with a big belly, big bulbous looking ass belly, big bulbous looking ass slow feet, big bulbous looking ass loping shots. I don't know what you man were talking about. The left hook. How many? It's bad. I've got to admit I was wrong. I said to you, man, Dillian would not land a left hook as long as Tyson Fury was in southpaw. Notice, Tyson Fury actually came out orthodox, and Dillian, this shows you actually how much Team White was scared. So on that basis, I was right, in as much as the fact Team White came out southpaw showed they were scared of Tyson Fury coming out and taking their whole game plan away. As it happens, after the second round, Tyson Fury clocked on that DILLIAN WHYTE was useless in southpaw. He was useless in orthodox. And he thought, listen, Tyson Fury decided, I'll fight you left hook for left hook, which is orthodox versus orthodox. Oops. And by the way, people, all that talk about, DILLIAN WHYTE's left hook, which I told you was useless. Who's DILLIAN WHYTE who really knocked out with that left hook? Apart from Bumzora. Yeah? Mr. Don't Train and Mr. Rock Up and just jump on the floor. Apart from Bumzora, who has White knocked out with a left hook? Oh, I'm sorry, Lucas Big Daddy, Big Willie looking. You know what I mean? Big who's he knocked out? No one, that's the answer. Yeah? Big sloppy shots. I've never... tell a lie. Tyson Fury is almost, well, he is in the league of his own, but in terms of the weight divisions, this exposed how bad Dillian was. Dillian White's double jab normally lands pretty effectively against people his own size. Tonight, it didn't land once. His left hook didn't land once. And not only were his shots not landing once, he was missing by miles. His big right hands was... He looks proper dopey and the whole lot of it. His footwork looked dopey. His shots looked dopey. Okay, he landed a few left hooks to the body. But even that, to say Dillian White executed a left hook to the body strategy, that would be a lie. Dillian White didn't really come it like that. And I told you, man, Dillian White's only chance is to pull off some sort of Canelo strategy. Elbows in nice and tight. Slipping, sliding, coming forward. You're going to have to admit you're going to take some shots on the way in and try and bang away. Dillian White didn't want to do that. And that's often why people do this. If you've seen the Eddie Hall versus 4 fight, Eddie Hall versus 4, Eddie Hall kept throwing these big shots that were nowhere in range. Now, Dillian White wasn't as bad, but bear in mind Dillian White's a professional fighter. He was essentially doing the same thing. Dillian White didn't want to risk coming all the way forward to get into range properly. So he just throw these shots, almost praying that Tyson Fury would lean down 2 feet. And you know what I mean? That's the way it was. Dillian White knew most of them shots weren't going to land. They was desperate, beyond desperate haymakers. It was a real embarrassing showing after all that talking. Now, I can't lie, Dillian's best round was the first round, when essentially he was in... bottom line is, Dillian White's best round was the first round, and I actually praised Team White. I said fair play to them, because I actually thought, I can't lie, I actually gave Dillian's left hook more credit, because I ended up saying in the first round, fair play to Team Dillian. Team Dillian had found a way to keep their left hook in the game, i.e. assuming Tyson Fury was going to come out southpaw, they took that option away, or they thought, they didn't, because Tyson Fury could have, never mind, Tyson Fury could have boxed straight on, square on, and still beat Dillian. But from Team White's point of view, at least in the first few seconds, coming out southpaw did kind of bamboozle Fury, and that was really the best decision and the best thing they ever did in the whole fight. But that doesn't really say it, like, okay, you came out southpaw, and your best round was a round you lost. And you made it a little bit tricky for Fury. But it shows you how much Tyson Fury realised he was in control, because the next round he had no problem. He had no problem facing Dillian White left hook for left hook in orthodox. And like I said, I have to admit I was wrong. I said that, Dillian White won't land one left hook whilst Tyson Fury's in southpaw. Dillian White didn't land one left hook whilst it was orthodox versus orthodox. Wow. And then he gets chinned by the man who he said had no power. Chinned cold as well. Cold. Super cold. And I gotta say this now. I really pray Tyson Fury don't retire, because he's the only thing keeping this game alive right now. That's the truth. That's the God's honest truth. I've told you already. I've already taken responsibility. I'm wrong. I've been wrong about Fury. Simple as that. No one in this game can put a glove on Tyson Fury right now. Oh, YB, you're sucking him off. Call it what you want. Because what we know is, guess what? Anthony Johnston, any Anthony Joshua fan, will admit that AJ's best fight, really, or AJ's best form, we've always talked about it, AJ's best form was in the AJ versus White fight. All of us for years have always said, I wish AJ could go back to the White fight. AJ went life and death with White, and that was the best AJ versus the worst Dillian White. So we've now got Dillian White in 2022, which is, people have always said, AJ beat the worst Dillian, and Dillian had shoulder injuries, fine. So Tyson Fury beat the best Dillian, and it weren't even close. Dillian didn't win a round, and he got put stone cold Steve Austin. AJ went 50-50 in his prime against the worst Dillian, and it was a nail biter. Could have gone either way. This shows you levels, and it's as simple as that. This shows you levels. Fury was at a canter the whole night, and then whoop. And Fury's now seemed to have finally added. But don't forget, people, in that first Wilder fight that Fury was under Sugar Hill, which was the second Wilder fight, he had 7 weeks, and we saw the improvement. Fury went from going life and death with, who was it, Wallin, to smoking Wilder's pack for him. Why do I bring that up? Well, we're now seeing Tyson Fury Don't forget, people, in that second Wilder fight, Fury battered Wilder all over the ring. That's relevant because getting a KO when you've put someone down 4 times and you've whooped them all around the ring, that's one thing. Stone Cold Steve Austin someone when there was no build-up. Fury didn't break Dillian down. He played touch butt with him, and I can't lie to you. Until the stoppage, I was getting ready to go in. I thought Tyson Fury was going to go to points, and I was going to say that was disappointing, especially because of how useless Dillian looked. Next thing I know, I see this peach of an uppercut. Don't forget, people, myself included, yeah? People have criticised Tyson Fury for having no power. That can't be said no more. Facts. AJ had to have a war with Dillian to get the KO. Tyson Fury played touch butt and then whipped a hook, and he's sleeping. And he getting up like Bambi, a newborn Bambi, on ice with stilts on. Now, fair play to Dillian, he didn't kind of roll over. His chin forsaked him. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, Dillian White's chin surely did forsake him. He was completely forsaken by his chin. But really, he didn't. I think Dillian White knew the writing was on the wall. And at one point, I can't lie to you, I thought it was going to kick off. I thought all the bare knuckle dons were going to jump in the ring. Because the referee, Dillian was getting frustrated. He was getting outboxed. He had no ideas. He was Dillian's so slow. He's so slow. His feet are so slow. His arms are so slow. His belly is so bulbous. I've been telling these guys, why are you coming in all big and round looking? You got to carry all that weight. I had people tell me, oh, AJ needs to come in heavier. Dillian needs to come in heavier. Yeah, strength. What's the point of having strength when you're 6 feet out because you're so slow? Dillian needs to lose about 20 pounds of weight to have even a chance. That's just what it is. He's so slow. His feet are so slow. I can't believe he just got paid 7 mil for that. I'm like, oh, wow. He got paid 7 mil for that. And you goofy white fans were talking about how he deserves 45. Does that man look like a man who deserves 45%? Are you joking? It's actually disrespectful. I feel disrespected, yeah, that Eddie Hearn and all you white fans were sitting there protesting about how he's been done wrong. Does that performance look like a man who's been done wrong? He should be grateful for the 18% he's getting. The golfing class, and not only that, I didn't really see enough from Dillian. He didn't really want it like that. Yeah, all that talking, he didn't really go to war like that, in my opinion. He was happy to just stay at mid-range and kind of lose on points. That's what it looked like to me. Don't get me wrong, he didn't pull a David Haye versus Vlad, but I didn't see you know what, I'm going to get my chin nice and low and just go for this now. Comparatively, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about here. When Chisora was fighting White in the rematch, and the ref started robbing Chisora, in them last few rounds, Chisora was going for it. He was hungry for it. And he was prepared. And the thing is, Dillian White got knocked out Stone Cold Steve Austin anyway, but what I'm saying is, he didn't really push, did he? Let's be real now. So can you sit there and say Dillian really put himself on the line? He got caught, Stone Cold, oops, yeah? But he ain't really, all that hood stuff, oh man, I'm from Brixton, and all that stuff didn't come through in my opinion. He just woofing. This was a massive bank robbery for Team White, and then the worst thing is he ran off at the end as well. But I'm going to do a video on that in its own right. Anyway, let me check my notes here, because I'm sure there's some more things to talk about. Yeah, Tyson Fury retiring. Please don't retire, man. The sport, we need this sport. Without Fury, it's dead. Fury is the only one in the boxing game today who's not only got the personality, but also he's getting better still. Do you understand? If Fury was, for example, if Fury had gone the distance with White, yeah, I'd kind of get it. I'd say, well, he's plateauing. But he getting better. For the first time, really, we're seeing, because I've been critical of Fury's shots before. Fury, historically, and I think some of his shots he still does slap, but this really is one of the first times I've seen. This was a Mike Tyson-esque uppercut. It was short, it was sharp, and it was whipping. We've never seen Fury for a long time has always slapped his uppercuts. He chipped the chin. He clipped right on the end of his bonds, right on the end of his beak, laid out flat. Wow. Those kind of shots, you can't even almost train for them ones. You have to have that. That was just a peach. Bottom line. And I don't want him bottom line, he must stay. I want to see him knock out Usyk. I want to see him knock out Johnston. And then, he'll be an argument for the great, certainly top 3 of all time, in my opinion. Especially in terms of beatability. Yeah? Because no one, if Fury goes on to KO both of AJ and Usyk, which I think he can do, if he wants to, no one, historically speaking, I just don't think Lennox Lewis will be able to deal with the dimensions. I just don't think he would. Look at Dillian, for example. Dillian's double jab has looked great his whole career. Yeah? Dillian's always landed a double jab. I think in the first round of the Chisora rematch, he actually buzzed him. I think he almost knocked out Chisora with it. Tonight, Dillian didn't land his double jab once. Didn't land any of them. Never mind any of his other shots. And again, Dillian White's left hook has looked alright, people say. I never thought it was all that, but people said it was good. People said Dillian White's right hand was good. Did you see the golf tonight, in as much as the things that look good against other opponents, against Fury, it was literally day and night. That right hand that Dillian White normally throws was about a foot off, and Dillian White would look silly with it. Dillian White looked cumbersome and silly in there. That's when you know there's a massive golf in class. And something I did mention before the fight was that Tyson Fury is almost in another weight division. When we saw the fight between Lomachenko and Rigondeaux, 2 Olympic gold medalists in their own right, that was 8 pounds in weight, which is 2 weight divisions at them lower weights. And we saw Rigondeaux just look befuddled. It's like that. When you're fighting a bigger man, not like that wasn't the only thing, but it becomes an exponentially hard task. And that's what you were seeing in there. You were seeing the skill level of Fury combined with almost being in another weight class. With the height. That height, trust me, anyone who's boxed knows, a good tall boxer, a good tall heavier boxer, it's just one of them ones. It's truly peak. It really is truly peak. Truly peak for you. I mean, for example, again, look at Kovalev versus Canelo. Until that knockout came, Alvarez really didn't have many answers the whole night, just following him. That's what happens. You have to follow and I mean, look at Chisora versus Fury 2. It really is peak. And Fury's getting better and better and better. And now, Fury's future opponents, not only before, the whole thing was, okay, Fury hasn't got much power, I can just hunt him down. Now it's kind of like, well, who's gonna want to go hunting Fury down now? Even for example, for a long time I thought, okay, if AJ can turn into a heavyweight Canelo, I think he'll beat Fury. But now it's kind of like, well, who's to say, even if AJ was able to do that, who's to say Fury ain't going to whip an uppercut in there on the way in and sleep him? Oops. It's not like Ruiz hasn't already put him down a million times. Oops. Yeah? And I bet you bottom dollar, Dillian White versus Ruiz ain't stone cold in Dillian, in my opinion. I think that fight probably goes to points. I mean, we've seen Parker versus Dillian was a 50-50 war. Do you understand? So this man Tyson Fury, please, I know Paris wants him back, but man, we need him right now. The sport of boxing needs Tyson Fury. And I'm sure there's a bunch of goofy dons out there, oh, YB, listen, I'm just calling, I'm not a hater, yeah? I'm putting my hands in the air, I was wrong. This guy is the man right now, yeah? And the rest of you dons are just hating. That's what it comes down to. You don't like, for whatever reason you're mad and you don't like it, I'm just telling you what the facts say. That's what the facts say now, because people criticise Fury, oh, he ain't got no power. Well, he just slept your main mans from Brixton with one bang. Now what are you going to say then? Because think about it, I kind of get, I was one of the ones who said the things. Oh, he ain't got no power. Well, that's now been debunked, for sure, because he's smoked Fury. He's smoked Deontay Wilder. He's smoked Bumillion. So you can forget about that. So what else do we hate about it? No, don't get me wrong. I do understand that we all fall in love with that Mike Tyson thing. That's, I think, aesthetically, it's obvious what goes on. People like to look at things like AJ, Mike Tyson. It's like that. I don't know what you'd call it, but it's that muscle. Well, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Muscly and buff and explosive. That's just human nature. But putting the aesthetics to one side, looking at the actual performances and the gulf between his opposition and himself, it's the man. And again, with this performance, yeah, I also want to say fair play to Wilder, because Wilder really came to get it, and it was both much more competitive, if you get what I'm saying. Wilder was always dangerous. Dillian was never dangerous. Dillian didn't do all that talking. Dillian didn't do one thing that made anyone, or Dillian didn't ask any questions of Tyson Fury. Not one. Fury really was at a canter the whole night. That's God's honest truth. And to be honest, I could see Dillian was gassing, and it would have ended up worse for him, I think. I think it was just as well Fury found the peach, because otherwise his bonds would have been touched up some more, and it would have ended up worse for him. The best thing Fury ever did was put him out of his misery early, because what would have happened is, I think Dillian's white defense was getting sloppier anyway. That's how Fury found the shot, to be quite frank. I think you could see Dillian's his mouth was blowing, and he's already so slow, and he's so slow. But you don't notice, and that's the thing you see. People have criticised, myself included, in the past, that Fury isn't an athlete. But again, has Dillian White really looked slow before? No. If anything, Dillian White's supposed to be the fast one with the left hook and the right hand and the double jab. And when you start going in there with athletes, yeah, or when you start going in there with people who have genetic advantages, things start looking off. Dillian tonight, we've never seen, bottom line, yeah, all the haters out there, we've never seen Dillian look, yeah, he's looked clumsy, but we've never seen him look silly in there before. He looked silly in there, 100%. He looked like he had no business in the ring with Fury. That's what it is. And that's how it finished as well. It finished, he ain't got no business with Fury in the ring with Fury. That's what happens when you're in there with someone. I'm not sure where Fury puts it, because Fury aesthetically doesn't look genetically advanced, but he clearly is. Because if he wasn't, them same shots, yeah, that was putting out Derek Chisora and putting out whoever else and rocking AJ, oops, yeah? Don't forget, people, Dillian White has improved since 2015. Dillian White rocked AJ. Oops, yeah? Dillian White caught AJ with right hands and left hooks to the head. He didn't do not even one. I was watching the fight with my mum, and she even said that Fury don't even look like he's been in there. He look like he's been not even. I've seen Tyson Fury. In fact, we have. We know for a fact Tyson Fury has had sparring sessions with Jared Anderson and looked worse than he has against Dillian. Oops. And that was with 10-ounce gloves on as well. Versus big sparring gloves. Oops. Yeah? Anyway, let me check my notes some more. But yeah, listen, the Fury fans, the Fury supporters from time, you man can definitely celebrate. And I'm just, from now on, I'm giving this man his flowers, because every step of the way, for example, when Tyson Fury is an intellectual boxer as well, yeah? Tyson Fury could have said, oh no, I want to be loyal to Peter Fury, I want to be loyal to Ben Davidson, and I want to keep running around in circles playing touch, but he said no. I'm tired of being a runner. I'm tired of fanning around. Let me go and do what I need to do for my career. Yeah? Meanwhile, Anthony Johnston, for years, said, no, I'm happy to get worse at my craft. I just want to suck off Rob McCracken some more. That's what people said. Eddie Hearn, everyone said, no, AJ's good getting worse year upon year. He needs to stay loyal to Rob McCracken. Oops. Yeah? AJ low IQ. Tyson Fury intelligent, intellectual. He know what needs to happen and had to get it done. And he do that. And I respect that. You know what I'm saying? As one intellectual to another. Intellectual, simple as that. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, he know how to get what he need to do. And he get it done. And now he doing things that even AJ, the so-called athlete, can't do. Has never been able to do. Even in AJ's prime, he ain't been KOing people cold with one shot with no warm-up. Took him 50 million shots to KO anyone. Took him all night. He just ain't got it like that. Oops. Yeah? There's levels to this game. It's as simple as that. So yeah, I want to say a big fair play to Sugar Hill as well. Tyson Fury said the same. 100% agree. Tyson Fury chipped the chin. Beautiful peach of a shot. White was so slow. I'm just going from my notes now. White was so slow. Big looping shots. Again, all you White fans. Oh, the left hook. I had no word of a lie. I told you, man, yeah, that I said that White weren't going to land no left hook. the whole night. And I had some guy say, bro, YB, bro, I can't wait to see what you say tomorrow night, bro. Oops. Where you man at? Yeah? Where you man at? Tyson Fury went orthodox versus orthodox in your man's left hook. Where was it? Dillian was jumping into the ropes half the fight. It's bad for Dillian. It really is. He really is useless. I gotta say this, and I feel glad. I feel vindicated. I told you he useless. 100%. I said Dillian, listen, you're useless, and you should be grateful for 20%. I feel sickened that people was actually campaigning for this bum to get 45%. Can you imagine that? Does that look like, honestly, can you imagine Tyson Fury leaving the ring tonight with only half of a purse? Does that fight look like a 50-50 fight to you? Get serious about interim champion. And again, this shows you the gulf between so-called interim and silver champions and the real pound-for-pound champions. That's why people get... So for all you goofy white fans talking about arbitration, yeah, this is... Tonight what we saw, yeah, is exactly why bum challengers get 18%. Because until you win, until you beat the champion, you're a bum. And that's what we saw. So if you don't like it, like I said, beat the champion, and then you can start talking about these big percentages. Dude coming in here looking like Bambi on ice about he need 45%. Because he been done wrong all of his life. We've all been done wrong all of our lives. Oh man, you know, my name Dillian, and I was born on a rainy night, and you know, not half of the world can sit there and say they've been born. So get over yourself. It's embarrassing. Anyone in the West ain't have it that bad. Oh man, you know, there's a billion people in the world without food tonight, but my name's Dillian, and I live in London, and you know, it's so bad, and I came from the hood, and goofy dudes, man. Yeah, fix up. You've been born in the West, and you be grateful for it. You've had more opportunity than anyone. We have in these countries, US, UK, we had the most opportunity. Don't want to hear no one crying about how bad it. Oh man, you know, sounding. And again, you didn't, Dillian. Guess what? I didn't see no. What's that term they call? I didn't see no so-called alleged immigrant. What's that slang, that saying they say? Oh man, you know, I got an immigrant work ethic. Where was that tonight? Where was all that? Oh, I'm working, I'm really hard, I'm from the hood, and I've really had it hard. Where was that? Where was the hood work ethic? Oh man, I got the hood work. Where was it? I didn't see it tonight. I didn't see Dillian going in there and think, you know what, let me start banging away. No, he was trying to get them cheap shots. Okay, I'll just put my chin down and loop one over the top and pray I get lucky. That's what Dillian was doing. He was just praying that Fury magically bent over, put his chin wide in the air and ran forward. That's what he weren't setting nothing up. He weren't really committing. So it pissed me off. Anyway, yeah, I wrote down here as well. Big bulbous body. Yep, 100%. Dillian need to lose a whole bag of 20 pounds at least. Dillian got dirty and he got frustrated. Talked about that already. Yep. Talked about that. Fury becoming explosive. Fury chipped the chin. White was Bambi. White had no short shots. White's not explosive. White is bulbous again. Yeah. White wasn't prepared to commit. He wasn't prepared to pressure like Canelo. His feet were lagging his shots. And I'll give Dillian White's team some credit. Dillian White's best asset tonight was nothing to do with him. It really was his team. His team devised the plan for the southpaw option, even though they weren't able to make it materialise into anything. But Dillian White's team was saying, Dillian, why are you throwing them looping shots? Shorten it up. And now, in the last few rounds, to be fair to Dillian, he did shorten his shots up and it had a bit more of effect, but it didn't make no difference, bottom line. But I don't get that. Who trains that? Who trains for them big looping ones? I just don't get it. How? I don't understand why Dillian hasn't been drilled. Honestly, if I was training Dillian, yeah, he'd be so drilled. He wouldn't know. His body and his mind would forget how to throw them big uses. You ain't going to land them. Unless you're fighting someone half your size. Or, you know what I mean? You ain't going to land them. You're just not. You're definitely not going to land them against Tyson Fury, as I said. I've been said that. It's not going to happen. But yet Dillian was desperate in there swinging big loopers. Super odd. Real weird. But this is what happens, you see, when people have been used to fighting a certain level of fighter. Tyson Fury just been in there with the most explosive guy in the division at the moment, 3 times in a row. He's sharp as such. Dillian, what's he been doing? Povetkin? Wow. You got knocked out, yeah. Do you know? So it's no shock that you've got Dillian doing these wild-ass things, because he's been used to being in there with these slow... I mean, Povetkin was so slow. He was so old. Even when Dillian got knocked out, in the first fight, everyone said, myself included, I've never seen a man look so slow and so shot. So when you're going in there with these old dudes and going 50-50 with them, it's no real shock that you're doing all this wild stuff, because you can get away with it. But when you go from that to the best top 10 all time at least, that's what happens. Oops, it's a big oops for you. You know what I'm saying? So listen, tonight was a super big oops for Dillian Whyte and all of his white man fans. Oh, I had all these goofy dons in my comment section. Oh man, you gone... Tonight's the reckoning, Whiteby. I'm Team White. I'm Team London, Whiteby. And, oh yeah, where was all that at? Where was it? I want to know where it was at, that's all. All of a sudden now, it's turned to, no doubt the narrative will be... In fact, I'm not even sure I can't wait to watch what the narrative is now. Honestly, can't wait to hear it. Can't wait to see how they're going to spin this one. Because what we do know is, not one white fan was expecting Fury to KO this guy with one shot. Not one. Everyone was, no, not one. Not one thought that was possible. They all thought he had no power. That's what they all thought. Yeah? And to be quite frank with you, even myself... In fact, I think most people, to be honest, didn't see this coming. I think most of us thought I thought Fury was going to get the jab going in the latter round and just tattoo him all over the place. And at one point, Dillian would put his hands down, stick his chin in the air, and just start pleading for pleading for a big shot from Fury. That's what I thought was going to happen. Similar to the Chisora rematch, but with an added right hand on the end. That's what I thought was coming for your man, Dillian. No, I'd be surprised if someone saw a one-punch Mike Tyson-esque uppercut. And even that, to be honest, how many people, at the top level, did we really see Mike Tyson knock out cold with one shot? How many? Most of the time, Mike Tyson would have to break people down. I'm not saying Tyson Fury is more explosive than Mike Tyson, but there is an old saying, timing's very important here. The problem with people like AJ and Mike Tyson is they kind of just wade forward and just bang big left and rights. Mike Tyson was obviously much more higher IQ than AJ. AJ's just a big... Well, he don't even have the confidence to do this anymore, but in his prime, he'd just wade, and I've always said that. AJ needs to focus on his finesse, aka timing. The one time AJ used some timing was in the Charles Martin fight. Beautiful. And that shows you what timing and precision does. Timing and precision is better than big grunting power. AJ turned into a grunter. Urgh! Big swinging chops with no finesse. You ain't KO no one like that. And tonight you saw that all that big it ain't doing nothing. You don't need all that. This shows you all you need to do. Have a nice bit of timing. Step back. Whoop. He's sleeping. Yeah. And Fury for me, because Fury hasn't been naturally given them so-called advantages like explosive muscles or such, it means you have to rely on the higher level skills which are better anyway. Timing and snap. Timing and snap tonight. That's all she wrote. Anyway, let me not keep rambling on, but I am honestly, I'll say it again, I'm wrong about Fury. I didn't see him making these kind of improvements, but again, it's a testament to his own intelligence, because he could have sat back. Many people, myself included, wrote Fury off. Yeah, he gonna sit back now, rely on his laurels, and just sit back and be a play touch butt, and just fiddle around for the rest of his career. The fact he's done what he's done, I salute that. Yeah, because there's people, you know what I mean? Oh, I'm loyal. I'm going to be loyal to being the worst version of myself. But yeah. Again, I'll end on this. All I can say is, I pray Tyson Fury doesn't end his career. Now, the good news is, before the fight, Fury was saying he's going to retire. Then after, he said he might retire. So I think he will stay around. I think the best thing really would be AJ to beat Usyk. Fury will definitely stay around. Although I think he's probably going to stay around anyway. I think at least if AJ beats Usyk, then he's going to stay around. and beat AJ. If Usyk beats AJ, then Fury will stay around, beat Usyk, and then probably have a go on AJ for a quick 50 mil or whatever. Because that'll be the easiest 50 mil he ever made in his life. Go in there, have a quick go, go in there, get the lube out, have a good old, you know what I mean, give AJ a good old seeing too. Yeah, give AJ a good old topping, 100%, and be on his way. Because really, if I was Paris, it's only 2 more Paris, and it's not even the riskiest 2, to be honest. Usyk ain't gonna hurt no one. Usyk can't even really hurt Johnston. So you know he ain't gonna do nothing with Fury. So Paris, sit back, relax. It's only another year, and that's scary. All I know is he can't go now. The game too dead, and the YB hasn't got any new other channels set up yet. So he needs to stay around for another year because this game's dead without Fury. That's the God's honest truth. And if it isn't, who else doing something? No one. He must stay, please. The YB begging, 100%, no doubt about it. Yeah.